This podcast is brought to you by The Senior Techie, a source of information for seniors and others about technology. Welcome to the show. So, I want to start by having you picture a scenario that I think is going to feel, well, incredibly familiar.
Oh, I can already guess.
Right. You are sitting with a friend, and you want to show them a photo of your grandson's birthday cake from last month. You pull out your phone, open your photo app, and you just start swiping.
And swiping some more.
Yes. And suddenly you realize that this one cake photo is buried somewhere in a camera roll of like 6,847 images.
And while you are desperately swiping, your friend is just sitting there politely waiting. It gets so awkward, you know?
It really does. Because as you scroll, I mean, you're passing a blurry shot of your living room ceiling you took by accident.
Oh, I have so many of those.
We all do. Or you're scrolling past 17 nearly identical photos of your backyard bird feeder because you were trying to catch a cardinal mid-flight. It is just pure digital chaos.
It really is a heavy burden to carry around in your pocket.
So today, our mission is to help you transform your phone from what essentially amounts to a digital junk drawer into an organized, meaningful legacy library for your family.
And the best part is, we are going to explore how to do this without needing to tackle it all at once. The Senior Techie says the goal here isn't perfection.
Right, you aren't aiming for a museum-quality archive.
Spot on. You are just trying to get things good enough that you can actually find things when you need them.
I really appreciate that realistic standard, because before we try to fix this mess, I feel like we need to unpack how we actually got here.
Yeah, let's talk about that.
Because I think a lot of people, especially seniors, carry around this subtle sense of guilt about their cluttered phones, like they've failed some sort of digital housekeeping test.
Oh, definitely. But there is a massive generational shift at play here that we have to acknowledge.
Right, back in the day when you had a physical roll of 24 exposure film, you thought very carefully before you clicked the shutter.
You had to. The friction of taking a photograph was incredibly high. I mean, every single click cost money to buy the film, and then it cost money to develop it at the store.
You definitely didn't waste a shot. You made sure everyone's eyes were open, the lighting was acceptable, and then you took one single picture.
But now, the friction is zero.
Exactly. We carry these high-powered cameras 24/7, and we take 5 shots of the exact same thing just to be completely safe.
Just hoping one turns out well.
So I look at my own phone, and it feels like I'm doing something wrong. But is this bloated camera roll actually just a side effect of modern technology?
It is an absolute side effect of the phones themselves. The Senior Techie says the mess actually happens because photos spread across multiple places without us even noticing it.
Wait, really? Without us noticing?
Precisely. It's an invisible software process. Think about it. You take a photo, and it automatically gets backed up to iCloud or Google Photos.
Okay, sure.
Then, maybe a few years ago, you plugged your phone into an old desktop computer and copied everything over just to be safe.
Oh, I've definitely done that.
And perhaps that same account is logged into a forgotten tablet that's just sitting in a drawer somewhere.
So the photos just multiplying in the dark without any active input from me.
Spot on. This invisible duplication is how a relatively manageable collection of, say, a few hundred real memories suddenly bloats into thousands of duplicate files.
Wow. So I'm not taking thousands of uniquely terrible photos. These uncoordinated systems are just copying the same ones over and over.
Precisely. It's not a personal failing at all. It's a software quirk.
That reframes the problem entirely.
Yeah.
But since we know that overlapping systems are the root cause of these multiplying clones, we have to stop the spread.
Yes, we need to do some digital triage.
And the Senior Techie suggests that the very first step is choosing one central location for your photos, like a single home base.
You absolutely need one single source of truth for your digital life.
Now, I want to push back on this for a second, because my instinct runs completely counter to that. I hear pick just one home base, and my anxiety spikes.
I get that. It sounds scary.
Doesn't having photos scattered everywhere mean they're safer? Like, if they're on my phone and my tablet and my old laptop, if one device breaks, I still have the others.
That is a very common way to look at it. But we have to clarify the profound difference between a deliberate backup and accidental scattering.
Okay, what's the difference?
Having photos scattered everywhere doesn't make them safer. It just makes them impossible to manage. The Senior Techie says you must choose one main place.
So not kind of on my phone and sort of in Google Photos.
Right, not a mix. Think of a physical filing cabinet. If you kept loose papers in your car and in a shoebox, and on the kitchen counter, if you try to update a file, you have to find all the copies.
That sounds exhausting.
It is. Digitally, if you delete a bad photo on your phone, but it still lives on your old iPad, you haven't actually cleaned anything up. You need one dedicated home base.
So what are the practical options for this home base? Because the tech landscape changes so fast.
The good news is the industry has largely consolidated. You really only need to look at two options. The first is Apple iCloud Photos, which is built right into Apple devices.
And the other?
The second is Google Photos. That one works seamlessly on both iPhones and Android phones, and it actually gives you 15 gigabytes of storage for free to start.
And exploring Google Photos brings us to something I find genuinely surprising, specifically for seniors.
Oh, the search feature.
Yes. For anyone who just doesn't want to spend hours categorizing images, there is this smart search feature. It's magical.
It really is. The artificial intelligence handles all the categorization for you.
Right. You don't have to manually put your photos into a folder labeled birthdays to find a birthday cake. You literally just type birthday cake in the search bar.
And it finds all your birthday cake pictures. Instantly.
It's like having a librarian who instantly reads every single page of every book the moment it arrives. The software recognizes the frosting and the candles.
It fundamentally changes how you interact with your memories. You can search for a type of dog, a beach, whatever. That feature alone is worth consolidating your collection.
It is an incredible tool.
Yeah.
But that still leaves us with the problem of the duplicates.
Ah, yes. The 17 photos of the bird feeder.
Exactly. Even with a powerful search, I don't want to spend my time tapping and deleting individual blurry photos.
Well, you don't have to do it manually. The senior techie explains how to clear the clutter without losing your mind.
Oh, thank goodness. How?
In Google Photos, you can tap the three-dot menu and turn on a feature called Stack Similar Photos.
Wait, how does that work behind the scenes?
The system looks at the timestamps and visual similarities. It takes all those rapid-fire shots of the bird feeder and visually groups them into one neat little stack on your screen.
So it doesn't delete them without asking me.
No, crucially, it does not delete anything without your permission. It just groups the clutter so you can tap the stack, pick the one perfect shot, and then delete the rest.
That is so smart. And I should mention, for someone with a massive collection spread across an old computer, there's another great tool.
Right, the cleaner application.
Yes. The senior techie recommends a free tool called Duplicate Photo Cleaner. It scans and groups identical images to save you hours of scrolling.
It automates the most tedious part of the process. So let's look at where we are. You've consolidated into a home base, and you've cleared out the clones.
We have finally emptied the digital junk drawer. But getting rid of the garbage is only the first phase. Now we have to logically organize the photos we actually care about.
And this is where we need a reliable system.
Yeah.
The senior techie points to a method that mimics a physical filing cabinet. It shouldn't require special software.
I love the filing cabinet analogy. You open a drawer, you have large hanging folders, and inside those are smaller manila folders.
Spot on. You start with a broad category, your hanging folder, which is the year. Then inside that, you make manila folders for the month or event.
So for example, 2024, and then inside that, June, and then granddaughter's graduation.
That is the entire system. It's so simple, but it works perfectly.
I need to interject here with a crucial stress-relieving tip. Please, do not try to reorganize 20 years of old photos right now.
Oh, absolutely not. You will burn out in 2 hours.
Start fresh with this year. Just organize the photos you took recently, get a feel for the folder system, and slowly work backward.
Pacing yourself is the only way it sticks. But as you build these folders, we must address the backup rule. This might be the most vital concept today.
Let's hear it. What is the single most important rule?
A photo that exists in only one place is a photo you can lose. Phones die, they get dropped, they get stolen.
But didn't we just spend the first half of this discussion setting up a home base in the cloud? Doesn't that solve it?
It is a strong start, but we need to distinguish between a professional standard and a realistic standard. Professionals use 3 copies.
Which is definitely overkill for pictures of my garden.
It is. So the senior techie says a 2-copy standard is realistic and perfectly fine for most people. If your photos are in the cloud, you just need an external hard drive.
And those are pretty affordable now, right?
Very. They cost about $50 to $80 at any electronics store.
And the process is so simple. You plug it into your computer, you drag the full resolution folder over, you unplug it, and you just do this once or twice a year.
It completely removes the anxiety of digital ownership. You have the cloud for convenience and the physical drive protecting your originals.
So we've secured the photos physically, but what about their emotional value? Because this leads to the most critical benefit for seniors.
Yes, leaving a legacy for your family, it is the most meaningful step.
And there is a pretty sobering reality here that we need to face.
There really is. The senior techie points out that when something happens to you, your family often can't access your photos.
Right. They don't know your passwords.
Exactly. They are locked out. They don't know which device has the real collection. So they are left with nothing, or maybe 10,000 unlabeled, confusing files.
But hearing that, I have a practical question. Do I really need to sit down and caption every single photo from the last 10 years? That sounds exhausting.
No, you absolutely don't need to caption everything. Please don't try to do that. Just curate the ones that actually tell your story.
Okay, so how do we do that digitally?
Well, Apple and Google both allow you to add notes directly to a photo. A simple sentence like, "This was my mother's last Christmas, December 2018, at the cabin in Tennessee."
Oh, wow. That completely transforms the file.
It really does. As the senior techie says, the photo doesn't change, but the meaning does. It becomes an irreplaceable gift.
And keeping this up just takes like a 15 to 20-minute monthly habit, or even seasonally. You delete junk, move good ones to folders, and caption a couple of key memories.
It is incredibly manageable when you break it down like that.
It really is. So let's recap the what to do this week steps so nobody feels overwhelmed. First, pick your home base and sync it.
Second, turn on stack similar photos to find duplicates.
And third, buy or dig out an external hard drive to make one backup of your most important memories.
And as you start this, I want to leave you with a thought to mull over. Your photos are the closest thing most of us have to a time machine.
That is so true.
So if your phone were to completely die tomorrow, what is the single uncaptioned photo you would regret losing the most? Find that photo today and write down its story.
This podcast was brought to you by The Senior Techie. It's available on Apple Podcasts, YouTube, and Spotify. If you'd like to keep up with their newsletters, you can subscribe for free by going to subscribe.theseniortechie.com.